Okay. Lesson 75, changing improper fractions to whole or mixed numbers. This is just a little hint. If you hold your fingers 1 inch apart, everybody show me how much you think an inch is. Show me with your fingers. Is it this much? Is it this much? How much do you think an inch is? Good, Judah. That looks about right. Good, Ruth. Good. Okay, so an inch is about that much. How far is a yard? Show me with your hands, your arms. A yard. Yeah, it's hard to fit on the screen. A yard is 3 feet. So remember those big rulers that I have in class? That's a yardstick. That's how far a yard is. Okay, so you can imagine those things in your brain. Okay, now power up mental math. I am not gonna time you, but I'm only gonna give you till 8:20, so 4 minutes. Everybody be working as hard as you can. Everybody should be ready to go in 4 minutes. Go ahead. One more minute. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna use my cactuses here. Mariana, letter A. What is the area of a square that is 4 inches on each side?
I don't know.
Okay, if a square has 4 inches on each side, how many sides does a square have? Mariana?
256.
No. How many sides does a square have?
16.
Do you want after our prayer?
Good, 16 square inches. Okay, so we just need to know, here's our square, and remember the area is the length times the width. So if we know it's 4 on one side and 4 on the other, then we just have to do 4 times 4. Okay, and then that gives us the area, and then we always say square and then whatever type of measurement it is. So in this case, square inches. All right. Letter B, 1/4 of 36. Aran's not here. David Elias, 1/4 of 36. 9, good. Letter C, 1/4 of 360. Judah.
90.
90, good. All right. Letter D, 1/3 of 36. Juan David?
12.
12, awesome, good job. All right, letter E. The regular price of the backpack is $28. It's on sale for 25% off. What is 25% of $28, Sarah Maria? Good, $7, awesome. All right, letter F. How many minutes is 4 hours and 40 minutes, Anna Sophia?
280 minutes.
Good, 280 minutes. Awesome. Isabella, letter G. A football field is 120 yards long from goalpost to goalpost. How many feet is this?
Can I say H?
Okay, David Elias, what's G?
Is it 360 feet?
It is 360 feet. How did you figure that out? Multiplied 120 by 3, right? Because there's 3 feet in a yard. All right, Isabella, letter H.
0.
0. Good job. All righty, let's keep going. If a rectangle, if rectangle 1, this one on the left, if rectangle 1 is rotated, that means it's turned a quarter clockwise, so it's going to go this way, right? Like a clock does. Around point A, right here, it will be in the position of rectangle 2. Okay, so that means if we take 1 and we turn it a quarter of a turn clockwise, it's going to end up where rectangle 2 is. If it's rotated again, it will be in the position of rectangle 3. If it's rotated again, it will be in the position of a 4th rectangle. Draw the congruent rectangles 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so where is the last 4 gonna go? Does someone want to draw it on our board?
Can I?
Yeah, go for it. Good, thank you. All right, so number 4 would be right there at the bottom. Okay, so every quarter of a turn, it's just rotating around. Okay, Okay. New concept. Okay, now please pay attention because this can sometimes be a little bit tricky. Okay, it's not once you understand it, but sometimes it takes a little bit to get your brain wrapped around it. Okay, so everybody should be focused, please. A fraction may be less than 1, equal to 1, or greater than 1. Okay, we already know that. A proper fraction is a fraction that is less than 1, like 3/4. An improper fraction is a fraction that is equal to or greater than 1. Okay, and they show you examples. 4/4 or 5/4. Both of those are equal to or greater than 1. For example, if the numerator is equal to or greater than the denominator, then it is an improper fraction. Okay, so when the number on top, the numerator, is equal to or greater than its denominator, then it is called an improper fraction. Okay. Every improper fraction can be changed either to a whole number or to a mixed number. Consider the fractions above. The fraction 4/4 is equal to 1, so we could change it to 1. And the fraction 5/4 is equal to 4/4 plus 1/4, so that would be 1 and 1/4. Okay, you've already done some of this, but you didn't know what you were doing. Okay, you were just changing mixed numbers, but now we're going to be intentional about it. Okay, so we want to be able to take an improper fraction like 5/4 and then change it into a mixed number or a whole number. Does everybody understand what we're working on? Okay, let's try it. Example 1, separate 8/3 into fractions equal to 1 plus a proper fraction. So a whole number and a fraction, and then write the results as a mixed number. Okay, so for example 1, we want to change that 8/3. Does somebody have an idea how we could do that? Anna Sophia.
Taking like 3 of the 8 and like then converting it to 1, and then the left, and then 2 has a whole number and 1/3 as a fraction.
You're very close. You're very close. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take 8/3 like this. Okay, we're gonna start with our improper fraction of 8/3. Then we're gonna say that it's equal to 3/3. How much does 3/3 equal?
1 whole.
1 whole. So plus 3/3. So how much is 3/3 plus 3/3? Good, it equals 2. Plus, how much do we have left over of our 8/3? We have 3 plus 3 is 6. So how much more do we have to go? 2. So we're gonna put 2, and we have to keep the denominator the same. So we're gonna leave it as thirds. So now how am I gonna write this as a mixed number?
2 and 2/3.
Good, 2 and 2/3. So everybody see how the 3 and 3/3 is really just 1 plus 1, and then we have 2/3 left over. All right. Raise your hand if you need more understanding. You're not quite getting it. Doesn't make sense yet. Any hands up? It's okay because we're just starting. We're gonna practice some more. But I just kind of want to see how we're doing. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's look at this example 2. The chef baked 2 lemon pies. At the end of the day, 3/5 of one pie and 4/5 of the other pie remained. How many lemon pies remained? Okay, what do you think? We have 3/5 plus 4/5.
We
And
first
so
have to add those.
we do first need to add them. So what's 3/5 plus 4/5?
7/5.
Good, 7/5, because all we have to do is add that 3 plus 4, the numerators, right? Now we have 7/5. So now we have an improper fraction because the 7 is bigger than the denominator 5. How am I going to change this improper fraction into a proper fraction? Somebody besides Ana Sofia. David Elias?
We can put a 5/5 and at first, like
We do 5/5. Good. Okay, 5/5 is going to give us 1 whole. Do we have enough to make more wholes or no?
yeah, we could do a 2/5.
Good, we can make 2/5 because we have 2 left over up here on our numerator, right? And the denominator stays the same. So our answer as a mixed number becomes what?
1 and 2/5.
1 and 2/5. Good, awesome work. You guys, when I was learning fractions, nobody took time to explain this to us. My teacher just thought we should know it, and I was so confused. So if you're feeling confused, that's okay. I understand that feeling. Is anybody feeling confused, or is this making sense? We're good? Okay. I want to take a moment here to stop and say, I told David Elias yesterday, but I want to tell everybody how proud I am of those of you like David Elias and a couple others like Andrea, who have come every day that they really need help in math during daily 5 and spent the time to get the help. And you know why I'm proud is because you're taking responsibility. Okay, and that means that your math grades are going to be higher because you're really checking to make sure you understand. Now, 5th grade math is much harder in this second part of the year than it was in the first part of the year, because now we have fractions and decimals and mixed numbers and graphs and all sorts of stuff going on. So it is good and smart to come at daily 5 and say, Miss, I don't understand. I need help with this question. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, so I would encourage you that if you're sitting there doing your written practice and you get to a question and you don't get it, come to daily 5 and say, Miss, I don't understand this. Even if you've already finished all your other homework and you think, oh, I'll just put down an answer, it would be better just to come and make sure you really get it, because you know that those kind of problems are going to come up again and again. Okay, so it's going to pay off to spend a little bit of time at the end of the day getting the help that you need. Okay, but the same is true for any subject. If we're doing something in language and you just don't understand what conjunction is, or you don't understand what onomatopoeia is, or whatever it is, it's okay to come at daily 5 and say, Miss, can you explain it again? I didn't understand. Okay, even if it's an old thing and you're still just not sure, or you're confused about what you should be writing, any of those things. Okay, that's what daily 5 when we're at home is kind of all about. It's time to get that extra help, because if you were here in class, you could stop me and say, Miss, can you come to my desk and help me? And I could stop right away and help you. But that doesn't happen so much on the computer. So that's why we're taking the time at the end of the day to give you time to ask for help. Okay, because we don't want you sitting at home struggling and thinking, this is so hard, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And your parents don't know because they haven't done 5th grade for ages. Okay, so just a reminder, take advantage of that time. Okay, it's a smart thing to do, and it doesn't mean that you are dumb. It means that you're smart because you're asking for help. Okay, it means that you are taking responsibility, and that is a good skill to have. Okay, moving on. Eggs, new concept. There's more new concept. Here we go. When adding mixed numbers, the fraction part of the answer may be an improper fraction, like this example here. Okay, so they added 1 plus 2 and they got 3. That's their whole number. And then they added 2 plus 2 and got 4 for their numerator, and 3 plus 3, well, they just leave that the same because that's the denominator. Okay, so they ended up with an improper fraction, 3 4/3. Then you need to be able to convert the improper fraction to a whole number or a mixed number and add it to the whole number part of the answer. Okay, so when we're converting this, we're not going to convert the 3. We're not going to convert this part. We're going to leave that there. Okay, see how it stays the same? But you are going to convert the improper fraction portion and then add it to the 3. David Elias?
Miss, so it's like the same, but like just add the whole number of the 3.
Yes, it's the same as the ones we did before, except you just, the last step is to add that whole number that already exists to the whole number that you come up with. Okay, let's try it. Example 3. A 3-person crew worked for 2.5 hours to repair a broken water line. The customer will be billed for how many hours of work? What's a weird question? Oh, I see. Okay, so a 3-person crew worked for 2.5 hours to repair a broken water line. So we need to say that there's 3, because there's 3 people, right? And those 3 people each worked for 2.5 hours. So we're going to add 2.5 plus, you could multiply. We're going to add for today. 2.5 plus, you guessed it, 2.5. Okay, we're gonna add those together and we're gonna get a number. What number do we get?
6 and 3, 3/2.
Good. 6 and 3/2. Now we could already probably do this in our head and know what the right answer is because it's a pretty easy number, but we're gonna just work through it together. We're gonna leave the 6 alone here. We're gonna say the 6 is fine, but we're gonna add it to this 3/2. How can we change 3/2 into a mixed number or a proper fraction? This part right here, what does this need to change to?
To 2/3 and then a 1/3.
We're gonna do, what do you think, Anna Sophia?
To 1 and 1/2.
Yeah, 1.5, but we're gonna go first just to take it step by step. 2/2, which we know is equal to 1, okay? Plus, we have 1/2 left over. So now we get 6 plus 1 plus half. So we get 7.5. 7.5. Okay, so the customer is gonna be billed for 7.5 hours of work. Okay, let's practice a little bit and then I'll let you go. Good morning, Daniel. I'm glad you got your internet working. Okay. What does 2/2 get converted into?
Oh, 1.
1, we know that one. Good. What about 5/2?
Mm, 1 and 2 and 1/2.
Okay, well, first we can say 2/2, right? So that makes 1. How many is left over?
3.
3/2. So we could actually do 2/2 one more time, right? So we'll just make this a 2. 2/2. So that's another 1. And now how much is left over?
1.
1/2. Okay, so our answer is gonna be 2 and 1/2. 2 and 1/2. Sorry, I'm running out of room here. All right, who would like to try letter C? David Elias, go ahead.
Can I do it on my paper and then I'll tell you the answer?
Okay. And somebody else want to do D, either on the board or on your paper, Anna Sophia? You can do it down at the bottom of the board too if you need more room. Somebody else want to do letter E?
One and 2/3.
What did you say, David Elias?
1 and 2/3 for C.
1 2/3, good.
1 and 1/4 for D.
B, actually 2 1/4. 2 1/4. Because you could do 4/4 2 times and then have 1/4 left over. So really you're gonna see how many times can this denominator fit inside of this numerator, right? And we know that 4 goes into 9 2 times and has 1 part left over. So let's skip down to this one, the last one. How many times does 4 go into 15?
3.
3 times. And how many would be left over?
2.
Not 2.
Oh, 3.
3. Okay, so then we put our remainder over our denominator. Okay, so you could do it the long way like we were doing up here on letter B, or you can just look at the denominator, the bottom number, and see how many times can it go into the numerator. So let's look at K. 3 goes into 7. How many times, Valeria? 3 into 7. How many times?
4.
How many times can you put the number 3 into the number 7?
Oh, 2.
2 times. And how many would you have left over?
1.
1. Good. So we put the 1 on the top and then we leave our denominator the same. So our answer becomes 2 1/3. All right. Yahiel, how many times does 3 go into 4 on letter J? You gotta not turn your mic off so fast. Yahiel, how many times does 3 go into 4?
1.
1 time, and how much is left over? 1, and you put it over the 3. All right, Juan David, how many times does 2 go into 4, letter I?
2.
2 times. Good. Is there any left over?
No.
No. All right, perfect. Letter H. Mariana, how many times does 3 go into 10?
2 times.
3 times. And how many is left over?
1.
Good. So we put the 1 over the 3. All right. Letter G. Renato, how many times does 3 go into 6?
2 times.
3 times?
3 goes into 6. How many times?
3.
Not 3.
It's like multiplication.
2. Good. 2 times. Good. All right. And we know the 3 and 3, 1 is just 1. All right. Questions about how to change improper fractions to proper fractions? Anybody? All right. Let's scooch down here. Your homework today, pages 488 to 490, numbers 1 through 30. Okay, hang on. You need to come back at 9 o'clock for reading, and we're gonna go right into your quizzes, okay, for your books.